So everybody feels this way sometimes. Initially, when I wrote that song, there was someone very close to me in my life who was suffering from depression and sadness and despair and rage. And, um, and I wanted so much to help them. And I felt like I wish there was something I could do. So I wrote them this song, Everybody Feels This Way Sometimes, that you're not alone, that everyone feels these emotions, that it's part of being human to feel a broad spectrum of emotions. And emotions are helpful and good, and they give us clarity on where we are, and so we can move forward and feel a little better. And anger is great because anger gives you back some power when you're depressed. And you can just keep moving up the emotional scale. So I wrote this as a letter to someone very close to me, that everybody feels this way sometimes. You're not alone, so have I. And everything, darling, passes by. I promise soon you'll feel all right. So I wrote this song to them, and I realized after I wrote it that I was sort of covering up something really personal to me, that I had been depressed before. I had been sad before. Of course, I'm a human. I had been disappointed and angry and all these emotions, and I was afraid to let the world know that it was really about me. And so I was kind of like writing it to someone really close to me instead. But ultimately, it was, it was a letter to myself, that it's okay to feel your emotions. And emotions mean energy and motion. And they pass right through you if you allow them to go through. So it was sort of like, honor your emotions. Honor the sadness, honor the anger, honor all these emotions that we're ashamed to kind of show in our society, because we're only, we only show our happy face and how are you? Oh, I'm great. Even if you're not necessarily feeling that way. You don't usually say to someone, I'm really depressed, when they ask you how you're doing. So, it was sort of permission for me to accept where I was and to acknowledge it and to acknowledge my own humanness with that song. And another message in that song is, however you are feeling, that even though it seems sometimes that if we're feeling depressed or sad or these other emotions, and we feel like no one understands us, and the world doesn't get us, and we're alone and we're isolated and it's just us, it's important to kind of get a glimmer of hope in there, this little kind of spark of hope, that there's so much love out there for us. There are so many people that are rooting for us. We have ancestors, and we have family, and we have friends, and even if it's just one person that we can think of in our mind that cares about us and loves us and wants us to do well. So it's important to remember that everybody does feel this way sometimes. And however you are feeling in that moment, even if you're feeling joy and happiness, it's going to pass through, because it's just an emotion, energy in motion. So that's the message of the song, that you're never alone, and that we are all part of one race, the human race. And it's important to support each other and love each other. And if you are feeling those emotions that are anger or sadness or despair, it's okay, and it's part of being human, and it will pass through you. So that was the intention of the song, to kind of comfort and soothe, initially somebody else in my life, but also as a letter to myself, that, everything, darling, will be all right. So just trust that these emotions will pass through you. So I hope you enjoy the song. It's a really special song to me.